Today I'm going to show you how I went from this oompa doompa stick it up your jumpa to this. A video I'm planning on doing in a few weeks is an analysis of I Am The Walrus, and the problem with that is if I use the original track in that video, the original Beatles track, it will almost definitely get blocked the moment I upload it, because just copyrighting the Beatles and YouTube don't mix. So what I have to do is recreate the track from scratch, which is no small undertaking, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to show off my new super powerful computer, which was very kindly built for me by Scan. My previous computer, my previous laptop, would not have been up to the task. I could barely open 2 virtual instruments at a time before it just started to crash every 5 minutes. And recording I Am The Walrus is going to involve lots of virtual instruments. We've got cellos, violins, French horn, drums. So with the help of this new setup, courtesy of Scan, let's get started recreating one of the Beatles' most iconic tracks. Let's start with the most consistent instrument in the arrangement, the keyboard. So we now have the piano recorded, and let me now talk you through how I got it to sound the way it does. So the piano on the E-piano on the original version of I Am The Walrus is a pianette. That's the E-piano that they used, which was an early E-piano instrument made by Hofner, and I've actually used a pianette virtual instrument made by Keyscape here. So this has been a great way to get as close to the original sound as I can. As you may have noticed, we've now also got something else in our project, which is the strings and the horns. So I thought the best way to get the strings to be as close to the original as possible is to literally just transcribe them. Then I can export it from MuseScore here as MIDI, import it into Ableton, and then all I have to do is assign virtual instruments to these MIDI tracks to get them to sound. For the horns, I've used BBC Symphony Orchestra, which is an amazing free orchestral plugin. I've doubled that up with Session Horns by Contact. For the violin, I don't actually own a dedicated violin plugin, so I've once again used Symphony Orchestra. But in addition to that, I've doubled it up with Spitfire Solo Cello, which obviously a cello isn't a violin, but it has a similar texture. Most importantly is the cello. The cello in the I Am The Walrus arrangement is the key instrument. It's playing almost throughout the entire track, and it's taking up a lot of the harmonic space in the track. So I really wanted this to be as good as possible. So here I've once again used some Symphony Orchestra, but the main instrument we're hearing is this Spitfire Solo Cello, which is obviously a dedicated cello instrument. So that's the strings and horns. Let's have a listen to how they sound. Next instrument is the bass, and for this I'm literally just reading the tab off the browser. I've actually got it auto-scrolling down, so I'm going to try and get a take as it goes by. Okay, here we go. On the original recording of I Am The Walrus, you'd be forgiven for thinking there wasn't any guitar on it, any electric guitar. It's pretty low in the mix, but it is there. In the verse, it's doing a sort of arpeggio figure, and in the chorus, it's chugging away at some power chords. So let's have a go at recording that now. The last main instrument we need to record before we get into all of the weird bits and bobs and the stick it up your jumpers is the drums. And for this I have a pretty perfect plugin, which is Abbey Road 60s Drummer. I've got to say as well, at this point in the project, you can see how many MIDI instruments we've got open. All of these channels have a VST instrument associated with them. My old computer would have just absolutely crashed and burned at this point. I would have been pressing Control-Delete for the last 5 hours. But this new computer has shown no sign of slowing down. It's completely changed the way I work. And I think the thing is, I just came to terms before with the fact that making music was a very slow, frustrating process on my computer. And now that all of the friction has gone and I can just sort of create, it's completely changed my approach. It's fantastic. So yeah, thanks again, Scan. Thank you so much.
And you can't turn the first 15 minutes into a Piers Morgan interview. We just shout at somebody.
Now, one of the more unusual elements of I Am The Walrus is a live radio feed that the Beatles actually ran into the mixing desk and just captured whatever happened to be on the radio at that time and used it in the recording. And what they happened to capture was a performance of King Lear, the Shakespeare play. So I thought, to recreate that, I'm going to get my own AM radio, which I had to go to a charity shop to buy, and I'm just going to try and capture whatever's on the radio right now, see what I can get, and then try and place it in the track as close to the original as I can. So let's just see what happens, I guess.
Your job is simply to ask me and Darren Ambrose some questions. We have to come up with 5 answers in sequence.
Hence the M20 coastbound remains close.
So that takes us to the final element of the track that I'm going to be recording, which is the famous backing vocals of this track, originally recorded by a 16-piece choir arranged by George Martin, but today recreated just by me with the assistance of some pitch shifting and some special effects. Let's see how we get on. Oompa doompa, stick it up your jumper. 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 Woo! Woo! So that is all of the instrumentation done. And I have literally just a few hours ago, received the lead vocal recorded by my friend Jack from the excellent band Penelope Isles, which you should definitely check out. And all that's left to do now is to mix this vocal in and show you the finished recreation of I Am The Walrus. And I just need to say another big thank you to Scan for making this happen. I've just counted up in the final project what we've got open at the same time here, and we've got 15 virtual instruments, 2 guitar rigs, 20 equalizers, 23 compressors, and then beyond that we've got various choruses, reverbs, delays, saturators, all sorts of things all open at the same time. I definitely wouldn't have been able to make that happen before. I would have been bouncing stuff down constantly, dealing with crashes. My computer just would have been a wreck. So seriously, if you work a lot with your computer, if you create music, video, or whatever, do yourself a favour and invest in a great computer. And a great place to get a great computer is Scan. So thanks again, Scan. And a big thank you, as always, goes to everybody who supports me on Patreon, including an extra special thanks going to these wonderful people.